welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel. Here today, guys, as Barça will continue their quest for another trophy. We are going to be talking about the Copa del Rey round of 16 clash as Barça are going to be returning from their Super Cup triumph in Saudi Arabia, and they're going to be travelling to what is very nearly Morocco, as we will be playing our round of 16 clash in the city of Ceuta. And we are going to be discussing today how many changes Xavi is going to make there to the star-studded team that dismantled Real Madrid. And we are going to have all of the drama, the full situation surrounding Memphis Depay and the chaos that really has broken out today. It is all coming up for you guys right here. So come on, and let's do it. Because before Thursday's cup tie has even kicked off, there has been a bit of drama. There has been a bit of spice here heading into this one, just bubbling beneath the surface over the past few days, basically ever since the draw has been made, because on Thursday, Barça will indeed be facing third-tier opposition once again, just like in the last round against Intercity. Now, Ceuta, they are the lowest-ranked team left in the draw. You can see here, they're bottom of their league currently. They've only got 2 wins in the league this season from 19, and at the weekend, they actually drew with Real Madrid's B team. So on the face of it, and looking at the facts there, you would have to say that on paper, Ceuta, they are the easiest team that Barça could have faced in this round of 16 stage. Which honestly, when it comes to Barça and draws, that is quite rare. You think about Champions League draws, you think even about Europa League draws in recent times for us. Quite often, we get the hardest team, not the easiest one, so that was quite rare. Now that was something that when the draw was made, Xavi alluded to. He said, I think that we've actually been lucky for the first time since I've actually been a coach here at Barça. He said we have been drawn against the lowest ranked team, but now it's about proving it. Now, I don't think those words there from Xavi were designed to be at all malicious or even disrespectful in any way. It was more of a light-hearted comment there, sort of saying, well, it's about time that we got a nice draw. It's about time that we had a little bit of luck, perhaps. But those in Ceuta, they are not happy at all. Their coach responded then to those words from Xavi. He said, for me, he wasn't very lucky in his comment, Xavi. He said he could have said it in another way. It hasn't sat well with me. The club or anyone here, we won't go into the game to ask for their shirt. We will go after them, and then after the match, we'll see who was lucky. So Ceuta here, they're coming out fighting. They're not happy with what Xavi has been saying. Their coach even went on to say there, maybe Xavi doesn't know what it takes for teams to reach this stage because he's had a much easier path as a coach. So for sure, before this game even kicks off, there's no love lost. This is real fighting talk we're hearing right now. But I think that's why it's so important that in the last round against Intercity, again when we faced third-tier opposition, we had our wake-up call. We have already experienced coming up against a spirited team. Away from home, tricky stadium to go to. I think that game taught us a lot there because we are very much aware now, we should have been anyway, but you can't afford to take teams lightly. You can't afford to go away from home and underestimate teams there in cup competitions, and especially if you go ahead in the game. Against Intercity, every time that we score, we took a 1-goal lead and we thought, that's good. We're done. We're going to be fine now. No, you need to score more. You need to make sure you put the game beyond doubt, because what I would say is, it's not helpful to go to extra time here. It's not going to be helpful for us here to keep going into longer games and really extending those minutes. In a long season, let's just get this game won. We don't need to go to extra time. We don't need to go to penalties. Let's make sure here in the 90 minutes we take advantage of this so-called lucky draw and we don't make it difficult for ourselves. Now, speaking of difficult, why don't we talk about this Memphis situation? Because as we spoke about yesterday in detail, Atletico Madrid want him. We all know that. They've gone on about it the whole month. They really want Memphis Depay. Now, apparently, they've already agreed a deal with him until 2025. That's all agreed. All they're waiting on now is an agreement with Barça. Now, Barça went to Atleti and they said, okay, you can have Memphis, but we would like Yannick Carrasco in exchange. Now, Atleti didn't like that at all. They said, okay, we don't want to do that deal. We don't want to give Carrasco in exchange. And then Atleti even went further to actually say to Barça, if you want Carrasco that badly, then actually you need to pay us 60 million euros. I mean, what are they doing? What on earth is happening right now? Because Barca then said, well, okay, then we don't really want Carrasco that badly. How about you pay us €7 million? That's the fee that we want. If you want Memphis in January, you're going to have to pay for him because Atletico Madrid, they're in a fight to get top four. They've let João Felix go. They need reinforcements in attack. They need Memphis. Well, pay us money then to get him. Atleti, though, in their typical negotiating style, they came back and said, actually, no, we're not going to give you Carrasco, we're not going to do a swap deal, and we're also not going to give you €7 million. But how about this? We will give you nothing. How about that? And that's the deal they proposed for Memphis Depay. And Barca right now are sitting there thinking, well, why on earth would we do that? Yes, I know that he's free in 6 months' time, but why would we now give Memphis to a direct rival? We're not desperate to offload him. It's much better for us, really. If we're not going to receive anything anyway, just keep him for 6 months. Keep him there as cover in the team, and then he'll go for free in the summer anyway. So I don't really understand what the tactic was there, what the negotiations were from Atleti. And then in today's press conference, Xavi actually spoke about Memphis, about the situation and about his character. He said, for now, there is no news on Memphis. He is a Barcelona player. We're delighted with him. He spoke there about Memphis being professional, about being a great person to have in the dressing room. And he actually said, I'm going to speak with him today to see what's going on, to see if he wants to leave. It's not easy when you're not playing, so let's just wait and see what happens. But Xavi there, ultimate respect for Memphis, couldn't say enough good words about him. After that conference, literally about half an hour after, it was training for Barca. Who wasn't there? Memphis Depay. And when I heard that, guys, I was extremely shocked and surprised at the situation, how quickly everything seemed to have changed. Now, right now, there are conflicting reports. Some say that Memphis has just refused to come in, not in training, wants to force that move, wants out as soon as possible. Others now are saying that maybe Memphis was given permission. Maybe Barca had already agreed some sort of deal with Atletico, and then Memphis didn't have to come in. But what we can say here is that certainly he wants out, and this is no doubt the end right now for Memphis at Barca. But I think it's a shame because Barca now apparently are closing in on a deal. It is going to be for a small amount, not the 7 million that we wanted, not even half of that, but apparently €3 million according to Fabrizio Romano, which to be honest is better than what we would have got in the summer. We were actually looking back then to just give him away, give him the letter of freedom, let him walk away for nothing at all. So we have got 3 million potentially out of this deal. But Atleti will feel like they have got a player to strengthen their squad. They will feel maybe that they have the better deal. But I think it's just safe to say, whatever happens, Memphis ain't going to be there in tomorrow's game. Which means that when it does come to the starting lineup, there are going to be some big decisions here for Xavi because he's got to get the balance right. Because on the one hand, we're now going to be facing a really spirited team. They are going to be out to get Barca on Thursday, and they're going to try and make it as difficult as possible. So you want a good enough team to beat them. You've got to make sure you take care of business here. We want to go through in the Copa del Rey, but at the same time, we do need to rotate a bit. We had some big games of late. We've gone to extra time against Betis. A lot of energy that we would have spent against Real Madrid. We will still want to rotate and give players enough rest. We do not want any injuries, which is why this would be my lineup. Starting in goal, there would be certainly a change there. Ter Stegen getting a little bit of rest. Iñaki Peña coming in his place. And then in defence, like I say, you've got to get the balance right. I think you do need one player in there who can hold it all together. So I would start with Jules Koundé. Araujo is going to get a rest in this game, which is very much warranted there. And then alongside him, I think Eric Garcia needs to play. He has hardly featured over these past few games. His confidence right now is at an all-time low. And then at left back I would have Jordi Alba coming in there. Balde, for me, would be starting the next league game, so Alba should start in this one, and then Hector Bellerin at right back, because in midfield, I actually want to use Sergio Roberto in that holding midfield role. Now, that may be a little bit of a surprise, but I just think with the changing system right now, you don't really want to be playing Busquets or Frenkie de Jong. You would ideally like to actually give both of them a bit of rest, given that we're using more midfielders now. I would also try and rest the likes of Xavi, Pedri, as much as we possibly can. Those are only young players. You don't want to be playing them for too many unnecessary minutes. And so ahead of Roberto then, I would actually have the combination again that we saw in the last round of Kessie. He desperately needs minutes, and certainly I would start Pablo Torre. He was really impressive against Intercity. Some good signs from him, and he definitely certainly deserves a start again in the Cup. Let's really make the most of this competition and give players like this an opportunity. And if we move then into the front line, up front, it's going to be Robert Lewandowski, providing that he's all okay. He had a bit of a knock against Real Madrid. He's been trying to sort of shrug that off because he wants to play in this game, because obviously he's banned in the league. He's still got 2 games left there of that suspension, so there's no reason really why he shouldn't play in this one, and he could certainly bag a few goals, you'd hope. And then alongside him, Ansu Fati for me from the left-hand side. He probably felt unfortunate not to start against Real Madrid, given his big goal against Betis. And then on the right, somebody who needs minutes, needs confidence, needs opportunities in this team. It could be Ferran, but I'm going to go with Rafinha. I am sure that he's going to start this game there, and that looks like a really good front three. That looks like a front three that could cause anyone problems, let alone a third-tier team. And surely on paper there, that lineup should be capable of taking care of Ceuta in 90 minutes. Let's get this game won, let's get this game done, and continue these good feelings. So please guys, do let me know all of your thoughts in the comments down below, especially there when you're talking about the starting lineup in this one. What changes would you like to see from Xavi, and what do you think that we will see heading into this game? I will of course see you soon, where there will be lots of videos and lots more updates coming your way. Should get a lot of transfer news as well brewing over these coming days, just as we did discuss yesterday. All of that is going to be coming. Thank you indeed for your support, for all of your optimism and hope right now. Let's continue on this path, and certainly we can be excited about this team. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.